A former New Mexico House Majority Leader and APS executive finally facing a federal jury. Cheryl Williams Stapleton trial beginning today. She's accused of 37 criminal counts, including bribery, mail fraud, and money laundering. Well, today the prosecutors and defense gave their opening statements, and the first witness took the stand.
Inside the courtroom, there were no cameras or phones allowed, but our Peyton Spellacy was there for day one of testimony with what jurors heard about the case against her. Peyton.
Yeah, Shelley, Doug, this has been 5 years in the making. So Stapleton was first charged in state court back in 2021. Then in 2024, federal prosecutors brought their own case against her, moving those allegations into federal court. So now Stapleton is facing charges brought by the U.S. government, not the state of New Mexico.
It's a fall from grace story, someone who rode high in the Democratic political establishment and is now facing a number of years in a federal prison.
The company at the center of the case is called Robotics Management Learning Systems. It was owned by Jeff Johnson. APS paid robotics to provide a computer program called CyberQuest to help students with math at several APS high schools.
So the claim by the feds, by the U.S. Attorney's Office, is that Stapleton and Johnson were basically in cahoots, getting money through APS, and a lot of it included federal dollars, which is why the case is in federal court.
The indictment says from 2013 to 2021, APS paid robotics about $3.25 million. Some of this money was from federal grants, meaning taxpayer dollars. Prosecutors say robotics was supposed to use the money to run the program, including paying people to maintain the software. But they say most of the money was not spent on the program. Court documents say robotics spent about $806,000 on business expenses, leaving about $2.4 million unused.
And that the money would go to Johnson's business, and then the money would get kicked back to Stapleton through the use of checks from Johnson's business.
And Stapleton is accused of using those checks to give money to an Albuquerque restaurant that Stapleton owned and a nonprofit she ran, totaling more than $1.1 million. Our legal expert John Day says the defense will have a tough argument to make. He says they'll likely try to separate Stapleton from public money, arguing the money belonged to Johnson.
That is an effort to mitigate the damage on Stapleton's behalf, claiming that it wasn't the taxpayers who were defrauded.
Tuesday marked the start of testimony with opening statements and the first witness taking the stand, APS Chief Financial Officer. Jurors were presented with a mountain of contracts, invoices, and emails as prosecutors began laying out how APS spends its money and started mapping the alleged flow of misused funds.
It's tough for a jury to stay awake when you're looking at all these different financial records, but the prosecutors are hoping that they can present such a compelling case that the jurors are going to convict.
Yeah, so last we were in the courtroom, the prosecutors were still questioning the APS CFO. It's not known if they got to cross-examination today, but we did see prosecutors and Stapleton leave the courthouse at about 5. Live in Albuquerque, and Peyton Spellacy, KOAT Action 7 News.
The trial is expected to play out over the next 2 weeks.